Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Associated Press written by Jonathan Lemire and Jill Colvin. It says published today, so it could either be where I'm now officially early Friday morning, it could be it was put up early Friday morning, or it was put up Thursday the 12th. So it's either the 13th or the 12th this article was published. Trump dishes up fresh dose of chaos aimed at May, Londoners. Like, it would have just been better to put May and Londoners, but whatever. Blenheim Palace, England. Dishing up a fresh dose of chaos on his European tour, President Donald Trump left behind a contentious NATO gathering in Brussels and moved on to Britain, where a pomp-filled welcome ceremony was soon overshadowed by an interview in which Trump blasted Prime Minister Theresa May, blamed London's mayor for terror attacks against the city, and argued that Europe was losing its culture because of immigration. Okay. Everything he said is 100% factual on this note. He had every right to blast the Prime Minister, okay, when she's doing what she's doing on the note of Brexit, all right, and subjugating her nation to the unelected bureaucrats of the EU and giving up their freedom for freedom in name only. Okay, Sadiq Khan, I believe that's that fucking waste of space's name, the mayor of London. Yeah, that is. He is to be blamed for the terrorist attacks. And what does the idiot do? Oh, we're going to outlaw knives. You're going to outlaw acid too? You're going to outlaw all this stuff that's... Because, I mean, hell, guns are already outlawed. And they have a firearms problem in the UK that they don't want to talk about. An underground one. London is probably one of their biggest areas that this issue is happening. And there is a cottage industry going on where they're converting non-lethals, or less lethals, would be more accurate, and starter pistols into fully functioning weapons. I mean, non-lethals will shoot, well, less lethal, will shoot a rubber bullet, and they're legal in some parts of Europe. People are bringing them in, and they're modifying them to fire a convention, you know, they're modifying them to fire conventional rounds. I was going to say non-conventional, but they already fire non-conventional. So they're modifying them, and they're not designed to fire these rounds, because if you're firing the less lethal, like the rubber bullet type stuff that they have, the barrel doesn't need to be strong enough or rifled or anything like that, really. That's the intent of it. That's their mentality with it. So the strength isn't there. So you have these dangerous weapons out there because of their issues. And outlawing guns hasn't stopped the gun problem. Criminals still get them. Outlawing knives, okay, in London. Oh, you have no valid reasons to have a knife. So, a guy who, say, works at a local shop, for example, has to take cardboard boxes and put them in the dumpster. He has no reason for a knife? But yet Sadiq Khan says that there is no reason. Huh. Go figure, because he sure as hell does. And they are losing their culture because of this mass immigration. You have people living in the UK that have not been outside their community, that have come into that country, and their culture is holding on strong. And I'm talking the truck driver of peace type, you know, regions of the country. I mean, regions of the world are going into that country. And they don't realize that the culture is totally different outside their little neighborhoods. They're not assimilating. And they're not going to assimilate. And they're going to expect others to cater to them. So, yes, they're losing their culture. Trump, in an interview with the Sun newspaper, said he felt unwelcome in London because of protests, including plans to fly a giant balloon over Parliament on Friday that depicts him as an angry baby in a diaper. Which, you know, that just goes to show Sadiq Khan is an immature little bitch. Because he's the one who approved this and said, yeah, let's do it. Trump, in the interview given before he left Brussels for the UK, accused May of ruining what her country stands to gain from the Brexit to vote to leave the European Union. And he's 100% correct. He said her former Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, would make an excellent prime minister, speaking just days after Johnson resigned his position in protest over May's Brexit plans. Because her Brexit plans weren't a Brexit. It was a Brexit in name only. They would have still been subjugated bitches. All right. I find this fucked up. They're still subjugated to a monarchy. And they want to give up more of their liberty and subjugate themselves to unelected bureaucrats. Huh. She basically was throwing away, because she has so much leverage that people don't realize when it comes to Brexit. Great Britain needs the EU less than the EU needs them, because most of their services are done in the UK. Most of the service industry type stuff for the EU. With that chunk gone, they're fucked. Where are they going to scramble to deal with their service issue of getting these services taken care of? They're the service part of the economy. And Boris Johnson, I have loved Boris Johnson as a personality and a politician since I first saw him on Top Gear. I thought he was a hot shit. I thought he was unconventional, especially for like a Brit when it came to being a politician. He was kind of like Trump light before Trump was Trump. And he kind of got a little bit of the same type of reaction. But people liked him. And that's why he became the mayor of London, regardless of all the leftists not liking him. And I really think that he would probably be one of the better choices for the prime minister if they end up having a vote of no confidence. I hope that he ends up taking her place. Trump added that May's soft blueprint for the UK, which I love how they put in quotes, because it's not a soft blueprint. It's no blueprint for leaving the EU. This is AP spin here. Trump added that May's soft blueprint for the UK's futures dealing with EU would probably kill any future trade deals with the United States. This is what I love about these shitbags in the legacy media. Instead of putting the full quote, because if they put the full quote, then the context changes. Because right now they're trying to push that this is a soft Brexit, when you are literally looking at the fact that the UK will not be leaving the EU. In name only it's leaving. That's not a soft Brexit. That's not a Brexit at all. But yet they got to push this false narrative. This is the type of shit that drives me nuts about the legacy media. If they do a deal like that, we will be dealing with the European Union instead of dealing with the UK. So it will probably kill the deal, Trump told the paper. He's right. Why would we want to deal with the EU when they're trying to double down on fucking the United States? Because they like the fact that they're fucking the United States, and we're sick of being raped anally without any Vaseline. I mean, this is ridiculous. Trump, who has compared his own election to the June 2016 referendum in which a majority of British voters supported leaving the EU, complained, "The deal she is striking is a much different deal than the one the people voted on." Exactly, it is. The people voted to get completely out of the European Union, to be able to determine the course of their nation themselves. You know, self-determination, that one thing that the British people had to a large extent, even though they did have willingly subjugated themselves to a monarch. The one thing that they gave up when they joined the EU that they want back, you know what I'm talking about? He also told the tabloid that he'd share advice with May during Britain's negotiations with the EU, and she ignored it. Oh, of course she did. She's a globalist shit pig. She didn't want to go out of the EU. She's a feminist. She's a Tory in name only. Details from Trump's interview with the paper became public as Trump was attending a black tie dinner with May to welcome him to Britain with pomp and pageantry. Ha ha! Great. That's perfect. It was just conveniently dropped at that time. As for Johnson, Trump said, I think he would be a great prime minister. I think he's got what it takes, he added. I think he's a great representative for your country. And he is. He's a no bullshit kind of guy. He's not going to put up with, well, you got to be subjugated to us. He'd be like, fuck off, you tosser. He'd be like, you know what, you German sheepshagger, go fuck yourself. Oh, wait, no, go fuck the sheep. I mean, this is, he would be like that. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders issued a statement after the tabloid interview was published saying Trump likes and respects Prime Minister May very much. And there should be a close quote on that, by the way. As he said in his interview with The Sun, she's a very good person, and he never said anything bad about her. He thought she was great on NATO today and is a really terrific person, Sanders wrote. On Thursday night, hundreds of demonstrators chanted outside the U.S. ambassador's residence where Trump was staying on the outskirts of London, providing a preview of the forceful protests expected on Friday. Trump acknowledged he didn't feel welcome in the city and blamed that in part on Mayor Sadiq Khan, who gave protesters permission to fly the 20-foot-tall balloon depicting Trump as an angry baby. Which I love this. Sadiq Khan will let them fly an angry baby balloon because that free speech is acceptable. But calling out the jihadist shit, he wants the police to arrest people. Calling out the fact that he led jihadists back into London under false identities. Oh, he wants the police to arrest them. So that goes to show you what a shitbag he is and how he truly doesn't believe in free speech. Trump also blamed recent terrorist attacks there on Khan, who is a Muslim, which I love how they got to throw that fact in. That has nothing to do with the fact of, well, it could, because he's playing, he's playing the whole preferential treatment thing. But you guys are making it about the fact, because you try, he's against Muslims and everything else. So you throw that in. You're trying to make it like he's just making that as a bar because the guy's a Muslim. That's not how it works. The president claimed Europe is losing its culture because of immigration from the Middle East and Africa. Because it is. And he was right to blame Sadiq Khan for the terrorist attacks. Because, to a large extent, he's got the police standing down. They're arresting the people making the reports. Not the ones who are actually being reported on. Who are actually criminals. Who are doing raping of, gang raping of children. This gang grooming, grooming gangs. It's rape gangs. Let's be honest about this. They're not grooming the children. They're not combing their hair. They're not teaching them proper hygiene. Hell, those fucking idiots don't know what proper hygiene is. They're not grooming them. They're raping them. And this in London is because Sadiq Khan is the mayor. Directly. That is a large result because if Boris Johnson was still the mayor of London, do you think that shit would be going on now? Fuck no. They would be calling him a racist, a bigot. They would be calling him anti-Muslim. They would be calling him all shit. And you know what? There would be none of this child rape shit going on that these truck drivers of peace are doing. None of it. Okay, they wouldn't even be mislabeling these people as Asian when they're clearly from fucking Africa and the Middle East. Trying to make it look like they're from Hong Kong and Japan and shit like that when they're from Bangladesh, which technically, they're Asian. But you're also grouping people who, when they're Pakistani and Bangladeshi, you're going, they're Asian. Most people's interpretation of Asian is not that. They look at that as Paki, Pakistani or Indian or Bangladeshi. They don't necessarily, Asian doesn't click in people's heads. But this is all because of Sadiq Khan. That wouldn't be happening if Boris was still the mayor of London. I can tell you that right now. Allowing the immigration to take place in Europe is a sham, he said. I think it changed the fabric of Europe, and unless you act very quickly, it's never going to be what it was, and I don't mean that in a positive way. Of course it won't be the way it was. And it's going to be a shithole. It's going to look like you already have people shitting in the streets like they did in the countries they came from. Just dropping traw in front of everyone and putting a deuce right there for everyone to see and smell and have to deal with. These are the type of people you're bringing into your country. Not all, of course, but when you're bringing a lot of people from a country where they don't have running water or indoor plumbing, that's what you get. In sharp contrast to the president's sharp words, Trump's first event in England was an oasis of warm greetings at an evening reception at Blenheim Palace, birthplace of Winston Churchill, the larger-than-life British leader cited by the president as a model of leadership. This was just one of several helicopter rides on the agenda for Trump, whose staff opted to keep him largely out of central London and the swarms of demonstrators who are likely to provide some of the defining images of his first official trip to the UK. Trump's Marine One departure from the ambassador's residence was met by jeers from demonstrators, banging pots and pans, and another pack of protesters lined the road near the palace. Some of the signs read, "Dump Trump, lock him up, and there will be hell to pay. Police worked overtime, their days off canceled." So, here's another thing. Why the fuck do you Brits give two shits who's running the United States, okay? That's our business, okay? That's not yours. Shut the fuck up. You have a right to an opinion. But you know what? He's our guy. Our concern. We get the picture. You don't like him. Now go fuck yourselves. And I know I'm getting with my language. And I'm trying to get better with that. Because I know some people have complained. But this shit kind of pisses me off. Trump was greeted at the palace by May, whose government has been rocked by resignations from ongoing tumult over Brexit. Be honest, lack thereof. Lack thereof. Brexit in name only. The outdoor arrival ceremony at Blenheim, Trump wore a tuxedo and First Lady Melania Trump a butter yellow chiffon off-the-shoulder gown, was a grand affair marked by a military band in bearskin hats, hundreds of business leaders in black tie, and gorgeous setting sunlight. The mood was far less jovial in Belgium earlier in the day. Yeah, because Trump called out those motherfuckers for not putting their fair share in. During his 28 hours there, Trump had disparaged longtime NATO allies, cast doubt on his commitment to the Mutual Defense Organization, and sent the 29-member pact into a frenzy emergency session. Yeah, because he called out Germany's hypocrisy going, well, we're not paying our fair share, but you got to defend us from the Russians, even though, and 60% of their natural gas, he purposely said this so you assholes would have to report accurately, 60% of their natural gas comes from Russia, which is 20% of their energy. But he said it was 60% of their energy. So that you guys would have to report on it and make it public knowledge. And you idiots did. See, you're hypocrites, Germany. You don't put your fair share in. The people that you want us to defend you from, you're supporting by buying 60% of your natural gas from them. Of course. That's going to piss off Germany. Disparage my ass. He called them out. Be honest about it. And the reason why they went into an emergency session is because they expected that they were going to friggin', surround Trump and dictate to him. And he went, He, like a typical New Yorker, he went, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're all right. He was like Scarface from fucking Half-Baked, I'm sure. At least in his head, when he was more eloquent than just fuck you, but the extent of what he was saying was fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're all right. Which was probably the Greeks. He went, you're all right, because you're bankrupt, and you guys are literally putting in 2.4% of your GDP. So the Greeks were like, was that you're all right one. Everyone else of them, they're shirking on their responsibility. And you're trying to portray it like he disparaged them for calling them out for fucking over the United States. Good job, AP. Then, in a head-snapping pivot at the end, he declared the alliance a fine-tuned machine that had acceded to his demands to speed up increases in military spending to relieve pressure on the U.S. budget. But there was little evidence other leaders had bowed to his wishes on that front. Well, because they don't want to admit, they're not going to openly admit it, they were just hoping to quietly do it. And another reason, by him making it public, with this whole fact that they're fucking us. It kind of compels them more so to do it, even if they agreed behind closed doors and didn't want to admit it. Trump claimed member nations had agreed to boost their defense budget significantly and reaffirmed, after days of griping, that the U.S. was being taken advantage of by its allies, that the U.S. remains faithful to the accord. Well, yeah, of course, they've been screwing us over for years and years and years. We've been providing them defense. Their militaries are a joke, especially compared to the United States. Hell, Germany. They have issues. Like 10% of their helicopter pilots had to get relicensed, and they didn't have enough because they didn't have enough equipment to train them. They spend more money on pregnancy uniforms than they should on other things. You really shouldn't have pregnant women in combat, but that's that progressivism for you. Let's put pregnant women in the middle of combat. Real fucking smart, Germany. Spend your money more wisely. The United States' commitment to NATO remains very strong, Trump told reporters at a surprise news conference following the emergency session of NATO members. Which the emergency session was them going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. How can we fucking fight back on this? And they sat there, bitched, hemmed, hawed, whined, pissed, moaned, and complained. And then said, fuck, we gotta cave. We have to cave. We're fucked. We're obligated to do it anyways. Other presidents were just letting us get away with it. Now he can just dissolve NATO and we're fucked. We actually have to pay our own for our own militaries. And they don't want to do that. So that's why this happened. Neither Trump nor NATO offered specifics on what Trump said he had achieved. French Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron quickly disputed Trump's claim that NATO allies had agreed to boost defense spending beyond their existing goal of 2% of gross domestic product by 2024. You're supposed to be paying 2% now. You agreed to pay your 2%. I love Macron, the sleazy little fuck that he is. Okay? Sleazy little scumbag. Because here he is. Oh, we didn't increase it beyond 2%. No, but you agreed to pay your 2% of your GDP. You weren't even paying that. You weren't even paying what your country agreed to. Now you're going to pay what you agreed to. But I love how you slant this. Oh, we didn't agree to pay more than 2%. No, the only one who's paying more than 2% is Greece, and they're broke. What does that say about the rest of you people? And you want to know why Greece is doing that? Because they sure as shit know that you assholes are not going to come to their defense if shit gets real. They know the United States is, so they want to keep us on their good side. You sleazy, slimy French little frog. There is a communique that was published yesterday. It is very detailed, Macron said. It confirms the goal of 2% by 2024. That's all. Yes! The 2% that you were supposed to be paying in the first place. So he got you to hold up your end of the deal. After you were like, oh, no, we ain't going to pay you 2%. Fuck. You know, that's more Spanish. Oh, he. Yeah, franchement, we are going to pay the 2%. That's still, I don't know why I'm going to a Spanish fucking accent, because I've been doing Mexican lately, whatever. But the slimy little frog is trying to play it like he didn't agree to pay his fair share. That he was supposed to be paying that as the fair share of France. This is awful. How they do this. Oh, God. He actually accomplishes something. Guess them, instead of the AP calling out France and saying, well, yeah, you agreed by 2024 to pay what you agreed to pay anyways. This is ridiculous. AP, this is why your group dealing with CNN is fake news, because you are literally misrepresenting facts here. Because you expect your dumbed down average reader not to know these things. And you throw this in at the end, too. Usually, you sleazy types get kind of honest towards the end. But you didn't even do that. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.